We back. We got my whiskey Sprite going, and no, I'm not recording this on a Monday afternoon. It is currently Saturday. So if you think I'm drinking on a Monday afternoon, just stay in your lane. So, last week we talked about REITs, real estate investment trust, and how you're buying into a company that invests in real estate or mortgages or both. Got me thinking, it might be a good idea to explain the differences between purchasing a stock or a REIT and buying actual real estate, and kind of some of the risks and rewards involved in both. So first, we'll piggyback off of last week and start with stocks or REITs. So obviously, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs are all great investment vehicles, probably the most well-known or most used because there's really not much work on your end that you need to do. Go find a company or a REIT, might be something you like, might be something you believe in, or might be a company you work for. But as I mentioned last week, it's relatively cheap or easy to get into stocks or REITs. When you think about it, there's penny stocks and stocks that are, $2, $3, $4, $5 a share. And then you get into the really big companies, the really expensive stocks, such as Amazon, Berkshire Hathaway. Those are like $3,000 something dollars a share. Even then, you can still buy into an investment vehicle and make a return on it potentially. There's all different kinds of stocks, all different kinds of REITs. There's growth stocks like Tesla, Amazon, Apple, and these growth stocks are kind of self-explanatory in the name in that their share price grows at a pretty good rate usually. Oh, disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice, and there's risk into any investment. Whew. Not trying to get sued. Anyways, so these growth stocks over time have been categorized as growth stocks because they give you a really good return on the money that you put into them. Then there are dividend stocks. These stocks do not grow as much, some do, and the reason why is because they pay out to their investors dividends. Dividend stock. And dividends are a small portion of the company's profits. REITs, most of them pay out every single month in dividends. Some stocks do this as well. Most companies pay out their dividends quarterly, so 4 times a year. And what's cool about these is you can take those dividends and reinvest them into that stock. What the heck? Then you've got government bonds. Here you're giving the government money for them to use. And these bonds typically range, I think, over the last 40 years or last 100 years. I don't remember the metric. But on average, they're about 4.5% to 5%. But they're safe because they're government backed. Safe. With stocks, you're buying into a company. With REITs, same thing. So at any given time, there's a chance that a stock or a company or a REIT could fail, go bankrupt. Look at Blockbuster, look at Lehman Brothers. Whatever money you put into those stocks are now worth zero. So as I was going through editing this video, I was kind of curious what Blockbuster stock currently is because they have that new Netflix documentary out there, The Last Blockbuster. So I wanted to see if that actually did anything with the stock price. Brought it up like a whole 2 cents. But another kind of funny with this, Blockbuster's name in the New York Stock Exchange is no longer Blockbuster Incorporated. It's BB Liquidating. Another fun fact before we go back to the video, Blockbuster at one time was the #1 franchise in the country. So that gives you a little idea what stocks are like and how quickly things can go south. So this kind of leads me into real estate and what the difference is between purchasing a stock or a REIT and purchasing real estate. So when you're buying real estate, it's something you can actually touch, it's tangible, you can see it, and you usually have more control over it than a stock unless you are the owner of the company. And that's why investing in real estate is typically considered a better investment because it's something you have control over. The only thing you can control with a stock is when you purchase or when you sell that stock. With real estate, you can control a majority of that property. Things you can't control, your mortgage rate, your property taxes, home insurance, and fees to purchase the property. You might be thinking, well, what about utilities? But as a landlord or as a property owner, you can decide how much you use, how much electricity you use, how much gas, water. But not only that, you can control who pays for it. If you're a landlord, you might not be paying for it anyways. If your tenant signed a lease saying that they were going to pay for utilities, you can control upgrades, how much you put into it, how much you don't want to put into it. Aside from upgrades, you can choose the property that best suits you. So you kind of get the point. But I will say there's quite a bit of a barrier to entry into investing in real estate because of the funds that you need available in order to invest. Again, unlike REITs or unlike stocks that cost $3,000, even the most expensive stocks available typically cost a fraction to what you need to bring to the table in order to purchase real estate. And that's kind of where I did my research when I purchased my place. Yeah, this place behind me. What can I control? This townhouse is in an association. There are a list of bylaws and covenants of stuff I can and can't do. But when it came down to it, it made sense for my situation. It's in a great location, great tenants, great buddies of mine. But in terms of the investing side of it, what can I control? So yeah, I could have purchased this as an investment property. Last year, I knew my lease was going to be ending on July 31st. And of course, as soon as I say I love the location of this place, my neighbor's playing the freaking trombone. Continuing on. But going all the way back to episode 1, where I talk about house hacking, I could control which type of financing I wanted to go with. Because my lease was ending, I was like, you know what? I might as well buy something that I can live in. When you live in the property, you get all those benefits of owner-occupied financing, lower interest rate, lower down payment requirement, longer term on the loan. So all of these things bring my monthly payment down. And after living here for a year, I can go turn around and do the same exact thing. And instead of renting 2 of the bedrooms out, I can now rent out my bedroom too and rent all 3 of them. So I still got to buy the same exact property, but I was able to control what that payment was going to look like and how I was going to pay for it. With a stock, you wait for that share price to go up or down or whatever you want to get in at, and that's about it. So to kind of wrap this up, stocks historically have gone up in price over time, which is why they're an attractable investment. And all the different kinds of stocks and bonds and REITs there are out there, and gold and silver and copper, all these different things you can invest in or buy shares of can diversify your portfolio or diversify your investments fairly easily, aka bringing down that risk. As I've said in other videos, there is a risk to everything. Just be cautious of what your risk tolerance is. Now to real estate, you're buying something physical. You can actually control it. You can feel it. You can touch it. And you have a lot of control with your investment and how that investment performs. But there are higher requirements in terms of capital and funds needed in order to invest in real estate, which causes a barrier of entry. And this video is strictly just to identify the differences in both. This is not to bash on stocks or bonds or REITs. As I mentioned last week, I personally invest in REITs. I also invest in stocks and ETFs and all that stuff. So don't take it the wrong way or anything. I just want to help people in similar situations that I'm in, or people that have thought about investing in real estate or in stocks or bonds or REITs or whatever, understand what these differences are. Because I tell you what, as soon as you start investing in stocks or investing in real estate and you start seeing your capital appreciate in value, it does become addicting. And I'm not kidding, it is so much fun. And lastly, here's kind of a little bonus. I have changed my mind. I think crypto could be something down the road. Anyone that knows me knows that I am not a fan of crypto. Well, I'm here to say I am now officially on the crypto bandwagon. Do I think it's the next currency? Probably not. If you ever see me purchase something with a currency named Dogecoin, seriously, please put me in timeout. Just beyond me, the names of these things. Anyways, as always, if you have questions, reach out. I'm here to help. But like I said, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. So have a great Monday. I'm gonna shut this video off now and listen to my neighbor play the trombone and enjoy this nice weather we have. Cheers.